The Phoenix Suns have quietly had the perfect offseason. If they remain healthy next year, will likely be title contenders. Don't believe us? This time last year, we made a similar claim about the Dallas Mavericks. So hear us out. The Suns finished out last season with a flat-out embarrassing performance against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were physically outmatched and basically crumbled in a blowout 4-game series. And after the series ended, we made a video explaining why the Suns were in deep trouble. Since Matt Ishbia took over ownership of the team, he's been on a mad spending spree to put his fingerprints all over the roster. First, he traded for Kevin Durant. Then he traded for Bradley Beal. And then he followed that up by trading away the team's former first overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, in a deal for Jusuf Nurkic, just to make sure the team showed no resemblance of the 2021 team that made it to the finals. If this team were to succeed, he wanted all the credit. And he went all in, mortgaging future assets and leveraging the highest luxury tax apron to win now. Fortunately, as we know, things didn't work out. And it seemed like the Suns were handcuffed to a similar roster. But somehow, and some way, they've managed to surgically operate and fine-tune their team while adhering to the salary cap restrictions imposed on them by the league's CBA. Before getting into the moves that the Suns made, we need to quickly break down why the team was such a disaster compared to expectations last year. The biggest issue for the Suns last season was their turnover differential and their shot selection. In terms of field goal percentage and defense, they were among the better teams in the league. No doubt, they have some lethal scorers, but they were constantly turning the ball over and taking long possessions that resulted in isolation mid-range jump shots. The result was the team averaged less field goal attempts than their opponents by a pretty wide margin, particularly from outside the three-point line. And we thought they were screwed. But they've managed to address these issues and will likely become a dynamic and efficient offensive club next season. One of the hardest to stop in the league. For starters, they fired their coach Frank Vogel and replaced him with former Milwaukee Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer. Budenholzer has a reputation for performing in the regular season, but not making the necessary adjustments to win in the playoffs. But in our opinion, Budenholzer wasn't to blame for the Bucks' playoff shortcomings. In fact, we think he deserves a lot of credit for turning the Bucks into a contender and leading them to win the 2021 NBA championship. The reason why Budenholzer will prove to be the perfect fit in Phoenix is because he is proven to be a great defensive coach, and he also has a deep understanding of how to open up shots outside the three-point line, something the Suns struggled to do last season. Yes, he leaned on Giannis to create gravity in the interior of Milwaukee, but he has star players to utilize creativity in Phoenix as well. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant both demand a lot of attention when they have the ball, and Budenholzer will likely figure out how to get them the rock in the right spots at the right times to open up threes, which will immediately improve the Suns' offense in this day and age. Last year, despite finishing 5th in the league in three-point accuracy, the Suns ranked near the bottom at 25th in three-point attempts. This was largely due to the fact that the team lacked a true point guard that could get their star good looks on the right spots of the floor. Instead, Booker, Durant, and Beal were forced to become facilitators, a role that they aren't best suited in. The offense was disjointed and easy to defend, so to fix this issue, the Suns signed 2 players who might not have the name recognition of stars, but are 2 of the best in the world at playing this role. Those 2 guys are Tyus Jones and Monte Morris, and they got both guards for next to nothing cap-wise. While Jones and Morris aren't top-tier scorers, they're actually analytic gods, putting up cheat code-like stats and assist-to-turnover metrics. In fact, Tyus Jones has basically been the far-and-ahead assist-to-turnover ratio leader for over half a decade. Last season, Tyus Jones led the league by a landslide amongst qualifying players in the category with an assist-to-turnover ratio of 7.35. The players trailing him were Chris Paul, Tyrese Halliburton, and Fred VanVleet. It's true. It might not seem like the most critical metric, but for a team like the Suns that turned the ball over so much last season, it'll make a massive difference. In 2022, before getting traded to Washington, Tyus Jones played backup point guard for Memphis, where he led the league in assist-to-turnover ratio as well. And they were missing his presence severely last season as the team missed the playoffs. Get this. The other point guard the Suns signed this offseason, Monte Morris. He's an assist-to-turnover buster as well. After starring at Iowa State, Morris was drafted by Denver and was developed into one of the league's best backup point guards. Then, when Jamal Murray got injured, he took over the starting role and helped the Nuggets win 48 games in 2022. These guys can shoot the ball too when they need to. Last season, Tyus Jones shot over 41% from 3 in Washington, and Monte has shot over 39% from three throughout his career. If these guys are healthy, they'll be absolutely perfect fits splitting time at the point in Phoenix. Lastly, the Suns also extended Royce O'Neale to a contract extension, a player who will also likely play power forward in their starting lineup. What does O'Neale bring to the lineup, you ask? Well, much like Jones and Morris, he's not an elite scorer. He's only averaged about 7 points per game throughout his career. But Royce O'Neale is a bulldog on defense, guarding players both on the interior and around the perimeter. One of the strongest dudes in the league. And he's an analytic buster as well. For an off-ball forward, Royce O'Neale is incredibly efficient with his touches, recording a peculiarly high assist-to-turnover ratio for a player at his position. He also shoots 38% from three in his career, which will make him an optimal choice in an off-ball role in the Suns' offense. Now with players like Tyus Jones, Monte Morris, Royce O'Neale, Beal, and Grayson Allen surrounding Durant and Booker, the Suns should have the weapons to score more three-pointers in Mike Budenholzer's system while also limiting their turnovers. The fact that the Suns have managed to make these moves while tight-roping the cap is nothing short of impressive. The team's made a measured commitment to using analytics to improve their team, and we think it'll make them a lot more dangerous. But we want to know what you guys think. Did the Suns make the changes necessary to take their team to a new level? Or will they get exposed for their weaknesses once again in the power-packed Western Conference? Let us know what you think in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.